Okay, the fish breeder also asks if my shifts are actually 12 hours and are they manageable. I would say my shifts are usually 12.5 to 13 hours. If you include the shift change, getting there a little early before you start work and staying a little after, making a smooth transition of patient care. So that's how long shifts are. They're manageable. At first, I thought 12 hours took forever. Like, that was a long shift. But now I'm used to it, and anything shorter than 12 hours seems like a short shift. Priscilla Desrossiers, probably messed up that name too. How many vacation days do you get? Well, I work 3 12-hour shifts a week. That means I get, the rest of the days of the month off. And I'm lucky enough to be in a unit that lets me self-schedule, so I can arrange days where I have a long stretch of days off, which is kind of nice. And on top of that, you'll be building up PTO. So as a nurse, 4 days of every week can be days off. And if you arrange it, you can fit in vacations, use a couple days of PTO, make it a long vacation. That's the cool thing about nursing. That's probably one of the coolest things about nursing is the time off. And I like to travel the world, so I love taking those vacations. Keegan Short says, how has being a male affected the way that your patients and coworkers treat you? And I do have a whole video about being a guy in nursing, so I'm going to put a little link there. It'll open up in a separate window if anyone wants to click it. I made that a little while ago. That was while I was in nursing school. But anyways, being a male hasn't affected the way anyone really treats me. I've walked into a patient's room, and if it's an elderly patient, a few times they've thought I was the doctor. But other than that, no major issues, no differences between how the guys and the girls are treated. I do notice, like on my unit, maybe the guys do more compressions in a code situation, if that was one thing to notice. But other than that, no differences in the way you're treated or things that are expected of you, anything like that. Jesse Next Door says, how do you deal with making mistakes or the fear of making mistakes? And I would just say, don't be scared. When you're new, just make sure to ask tons of questions. If you're unsure of something, don't just do it. There's plenty of more experienced nurses around, and this could be whether you're in nursing school or a nurse who's, working. Always ask someone more experienced if it's the first time you're doing it, or you're unsure of yourself, or you just want to ask a question. And there are a lot of technical systems in place to help prevent any major errors, like giving the wrong med to the wrong person, anything like that. You have all the barcode scanners and things these days. Makes it hard to make some catastrophic mistake, but little things will happen, and things that you might think are mistakes turn out to not really be mistakes. You just won't know what's going to happen. For example, like me and a preceptor have been in a room with a patient. He had an order to get up to the chair, so we put him in the chair. He was neurologically intact. He was calm, had his button near him, his call light button. He was watching TV. We leave the room for a minute, come back, and he had tried to walk across the room and fell on the floor. And at first we were like, oh, what were we thinking? But really, you can't help it. Patients are gonna try to make mistakes for themselves a lot of the time, and just kind of go with the flow, and things will work out. So just try not to worry about it, and make sure to ask lots of questions. Okay. ON asks if I'm thinking about becoming a CRNA, and Jacqueline asks if I've thought about becoming an NP. U of L fan 1224 has asks about Doctor of Nurse Practitioner programs. So right now I'm not interested in going back to school for a higher level nursing degree. I thought about it for a while. I got a lot of people get a year of bedside nursing under their belt, and they make the decision to move on to a higher degree. I hear a lot of new nurses come in planning to do that. I have a lot of nurses on my unit who are in NP programs where they're doing online classes part-time. Then I know some people who have left to do full-time CRNA programs. If you are going to do CRNA, try to get into an ICU at some point, because those programs want ICU experience from what I've heard. But there's some other people that look at non-clinical routes. So I was looking at nursing informatics for a while, which is basically clinical nursing meets, IT. And you deal with a lot of data analyzation and electronic charting and maintaining hospital systems and things like that. So I've looked at that, but then I've also looked at medical technology sales and being a medical technology rep, or working on the business side in medical technology, which might be a route that I want to take at some point. That is something that I'm really thinking about, which would combine some of my background in business and technology and meet up with my healthcare clinical training, and could take me on to a good career, a different career. But right now I'm a bedside nurse, but no to the higher nursing degrees. I don't think I want to do that. Matt Smith says, for a bilingual nurse, what do you think about studying or working outside of the country? So I'm all for studying abroad. I would say, I think to take the NCLEX, I think you have to graduate from a U.S. university. I don't know. If that's wrong, someone say it in the comments. But I know that a lot of United States universities allow you to go on study abroad programs. My school let you go take a class in, I think it was Africa, maybe? And then maybe one in Central America. But there's opportunity there. And heck, if I knew a foreign language fluently, where I could speak medical language in that language, then I would even consider, going and experiencing working as a nurse in a foreign country. So I say do it. You only live once, so go experience other cultures, travel, do all that stuff. And that ties into Nicole's question, where she thinks it'd be super fun to see different parts of the country and be a travel RN. So she's asking, is a year or two of working in a hospital enough, basically experience, to then move into a travel RN position? And I would say yes, definitely. I would say after 1 year, you can easily have enough experience to feel comfortable moving into another hospital and taking care of patients. If you were going to say work as a nurse on a floor and then try to go to be a travel RN in an ICU, that would be hard. But if you're going from a floor position to a travel RN floor position, or going from an ICU nurse position to another ICU nurse travel position, then I think a year, 2 years, definitely you can have enough experience and confidence to go do that. Definitely do it. Something cool you could do. That's all the questions that I had. I don't think I missed any. If I did, you can yell at me in the comments. So that was the Q&A, NOWSKI Q&A, Nursing Edition. If you have any other things you want to say, you can say them in the comments. Maybe I could do another video on other stuff. But I will say bye here. Subscribe if this is the first time you're seeing one of my videos. I am tired. It's 4 a.m. and I'm starting to fade. Okay, bye-bye.